You can't control how you feel, but you
No.
can control those inputs of maybe things that you do and action items. So if you are feeling a little sad, number one, it's okay. Like, accept that.
Yeah.
Show yourself
Yeah.
a little grace. It's fine that I feel sad today. It's not fine that I stay in a state of sadness without trying or doing things that will bring me out of it.
Right.
And some of those things that you can do to engage positive feelings are... Of the conversations we've been having over the past few weeks, there's been a common point that's come up multiple times, and that is the feeling that parents have sometimes during empty nesting, once their kids are off living their adult lives. There's a thing called Emptiness Syndrome. I first even heard about it from Wendy Davis in a conversation with her about her daughter leaving. You mentioned in that conversation about the quiet of walking past your child's room. And people resonated with that idea, like, yeah, it's real. That's deafening. Like, that's a thing.
It is.
And palpable. It's a thing. Like, and that wasn't just one person. Like 4 or 5 people said the quiet is real. Mm-hmm. And I think I felt that for the first couple of days. Yesterday, something interesting happened. My aunt called and spoke to us on the phone because she had been watching Advisory Mode. Mm-hmm. And she listened to an episode where we were talking about our feelings around Michael going off to college. And then she shared something with me that I thought was so valuable. She talked about how my dad felt when I left for college. Mm-hmm. And that's not something I'd ever heard. And that's his older sister. So she said that, in their talks, that he felt a sense of maybe some slight depression or whatever of me leaving home. Mm-hmm. And I found that so valuable. I found it to be so meaningful in giving value to this project.
Yeah.
To frame up and tee up and foster these kind of conversations happening. So I wanted to read the definition of emptiness syndrome and then get your feelings on the whole topic. Okay. According to the Mayo Clinic, emptiness syndrome isn't a clinical diagnosis. Instead, emptiness syndrome is a phenomenon in which parents experience feelings of sadness and loss when the last child leaves home. Although you might actively encourage your children to become independent, the experience of letting go can be painful. You might find it difficult to suddenly have no children at home who need your care. You might miss being part of your children's daily lives as well as constant companionship. You might worry also about your children's safety and whether they'll be able to take care of themselves. You might struggle with the transition if your last child leaves the nest a little earlier or later than expected. If you have only one child or strongly identify with your role as parent, you might have a particularly difficult time adjusting to an empty nest. So I read that. It makes sense. It's certainly a thing that some parents feel, and maybe we all feel it some portion of the time. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling about the situation? Because I know you have maybe a dissenting feeling going on, which is great.
Yeah. Like I said, the silence is deafening. In the first couple days, right? So the first 2 or 3 days, definitely. Over time, it has taken a little while to get used to the fact that he's not coming through the door, knowing he's not upstairs gaming and is going to come downstairs for a snack or something. But I've gotten used to that. I think that, like I was telling you earlier, the thing that keeps me from being sad is that I am so excited for the things that he's going to experience in college. I'll wake up on a Saturday morning. It's a beautiful fall Saturday morning. There's a game and they've got a great football team. He's going to have a great time. That fills my soul. I love that. The things that we told him that he was going to experience at an HBCU, I'm so excited for him to experience. And, we've been on campus a couple times. We were there just Sunday. And so, as we're driving away, there is this thought in my head that, okay, so every day isn't, July 4th and Christmas, like it's a Sunday. There aren't too many people on campus right now. You see 1 or 2 people meandering around. Most people may be studying or in their room, but he's okay with that. He's not looking for every day to be Christmas or Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? He's happy with just being on his own and around new friends and meeting new people every day in his own space. Yeah. And I love everything about it. He's experiencing washing and shrinking his clothes, like the things that we've been telling him about. This is what I love. He's growing into himself. He's growing into a man. He's experiencing life outside of family and friend and home. And it's very exciting for me. And so I don't have that sadness at all. I'm very excited for him every day. And so I hope that if someone listens to this and they are feeling that syndrome or they're feeling that depression, instead of being sad for what's not in front of you, be excited for what they are experiencing right now. While you're feeling sad, they are experiencing life. They're growing just a little bit more. And it's funny because your aunt Nikki said something last night that I thought was interesting. She said they come back different. She said that every time her son came back, he came back a different person because he's growing. And I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see who he's going to be when he comes home for Thanksgiving. What is he going to be like? How has he changed? And, you know, it's limitless. He's only going to grow more every time he goes away and comes back. I'm excited for all of that. I can't wait.
Yep, I agree. The advisory mode part of me wants to say it's very easy to tell people how to feel. You can't control how you feel, but you can control those inputs of maybe things that you do and action items. So I'll start off and say that if you are feeling a little sad, number one, it's okay. Like, accept that. Yeah. Show yourself a little grace and say, you know, instead of dodging or lamenting the fact that I'm feeling a little sad, let's look it dead in the eyes and say, you know what, if I need to cry, if I need to, you know, feel sad a little bit today, that's great. It's fine that I feel sad today. It's not fine that I stay in a state of sadness without trying or doing things that will bring me out of it.
Right.
And some of those things that you can do to engage positive feelings are, number one, stay in touch with your child. You know, maybe put yourself on a calendar. I'm going to call once a week, or send a text once a week or something, just to, you know, give myself that back and forth a little bit. And give some thought to yourself. You've been mom or dad for at least 17 years. You're always going to be mom or dad, but now you can focus a little bit more on what fulfilling your own internal wants and desires and curiosities. So add a couple activities, go on a couple dates, like a play date. You know how play dates were. Everybody scheduled play dates for their kids. Schedule yourself a play date. We threw hatchets last week, right? I haven't thrown no hatchet before. I'm pretty good at it. You're pretty good at it too.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
You know, so explore new activities and do the tactics that might positively impact the outcome of how you feel. And it's okay to start off how you're currently feeling now.
Yeah, I think the idea of having a child that's away at college and they come back and they've changed just a little bit. When they come back and change, maybe you should have changed a little bit too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
you don't
while
have to
they're
stay
out
in the same role.
growing, you know, you should be at home growing. What is it that you can do to change yourself or get to know yourself just a little bit better?
You know what we're going to start doing? We've talked about it before. We're actually going to do it.
What?
We're going to go get some art supplies.
I can't wait to do that. That's going to be fun.
We're going to mess up a bunch of canvases until we get better at it, and we're going to make some art.
Yeah.
Now, if it looks like crap, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to hang it.
The question is, like, where are we going to do it? Are we going to do it in Brendan's room?
No, that's messed up.
That'll be funny.